We offer our customers a wide range of machining of CETRIS cement-bonded particle boards directly at the plant. Thanks to modern machinery, it's possible to deliver CETRIS cement-bonded particle boards in any shape up to a maximum size of 1250 by 3350 millimeters. The CNC machining center is used for machining the facade panels and cutting atypical, irregular shapes. In order to produce such boards, we need the drawings of the boards with a defined outline at a 1:1 scale, including drilled holes. Subsequently, a numerical NC code, instruction for processing of the element with the tool, is prepared and generated at the technical department. This device enables not only the cutting of the boards, but also the drilling of holes with a diameter of between 4 and 12 millimeters. As a matter of course, the creation of cutouts with an atypical geometry is possible. Along the perimeter, the board edges may also be chamfered under an angle of 45 degrees, or so-called semicircular edge with a radius of 3.2 millimeters. The boards are cut on a CNC machine equipped with diamond blades for the best accuracy of the cut. Machined CETRIS boards may be marked on the reverse side. The marking identifies the board during assembly on site and thus remarkably facilitates the work. The marking is made by a mechanically printed code at a height of 20 millimeters. The maximum length of the marking is 10 characters. In the case of facade panels, CETRIS Finish Lazur, the marking is visible even after the coating on the reversed side. CETRIS cement-bonded particle boards can have milled edges according to customer requirement. Semi-grooves are possible on boards with up to 12 millimeters of thickness, and tongue and groove with 16 millimeters of thickness. The minimum width of the board that can be milled is 450 millimeters. Sanding CETRIS cement-bonded particle boards over the entire surface is done primarily on the floorboards. A thickness tolerance of plus or minus 0.3 of a millimeter is achieved through sanding. For cutting boards into rectangular formats, a power saw is used. It's possible to cut more pieces of CETRIS cement-bonded particle boards of identical formats at once. Diamond saws are used to ensure high-quality cutting. If the installer wants to cut the boards with his own equipment, we recommend using common hard metal wood cutting instruments, such as the SK Lamelas. When cutting CETRIS boards, a very fine dust is created. Even though the dust does not contain any unhealthy substances, we recommend its exhausting in order to protect the working environment. When drilling facade boards in the vario or plank systems, we recommend using an installation template, where you can easily see the position of the outer holes from the edge and then measure the positions of other holes in the surface. First, the position of the holes is marked on the CETRIS board. Then, a hole is drilled. Drill bits for metal, electrical, or accumulation drills with electrical revolution control can be used for drilling into CETRIS boards. The diameter of the hole depends on its position in the board and used facade system. Fixed points are always drilled by a 5 mm diameter, flexible points by 8 or 10 mm. CETRIS boards with surface treatment are intentionally drilled from the face or treated side. Drilling from the back side would cause damage to the front side, including the paint. Hand-cutting tools are used for chamfering the CETRIS facade boards. It's possible at an angle of 45 degrees or in radius. When using CETRIS boards for wall cladding, partitions, or ceilings, it's always necessary to keep a joint of 5 mm in minimum width. The joint can be filled with permanently elastic filler. The suggested fillers are based on acrylic resins or polyurethanes. These fillers are also paintable after hardening. Head screws and any inequalities can be sealed by sandable fillers. Immediately after cutting, the coated CETRIS facade boards must be painted. Any grease or dirt must be completely removed with a suitable degreasing agent. The surface must be dry and free of impurities. The edges must be sanded before painting with sandpaper with a grain size of 80 and must be free of dust. At first, the boards are primed with a brush or roller with the shortest possible bristles. After thorough drying of the primer at 4 hours at 20 degrees Celsius, a top coat in the relevant RAL, respectively NCS, is applied. The board with such a modified surface can be handled after approximately 4 hours at 20 degrees Celsius after application, while ensuring that a minimum 24 hours after application, the painted boards have no contact with water. Painting is the most common surface treatment of CETRIS boards. When applying coating on the boards, we have to consider CETRIS Basic is primarily a structural material with acceptable minor defects in the face side of the surface. The surface must be clean and dry. Before coating, visible particles of wood chip and bark must be removed from the face side, preferably scooped out with a spatula. These places must be subsequently sealed with 2-component polyester sealants for outside use. The sealant must be sanded and painted after 18 hours of sanding. In the same way, minor irregularities on the surface, including holes and scratches, are sealed. The CETRIS board must be provided with a primer to reduce water absorption and to unify the surface. The priming must be performed on all sides, the face, the reverse side, and the edges. After the necessary waiting time follows a top coat, a paint appropriate for cement surface. The coating material must be a part of the comprehensive system, and the prescribed technological procedure shall be followed, such as the way of applying and technology breaks. The coating materials must contain pigments stable in an alkaline environment. Unstable pigments may lead to changes in color shades. CETRIS facade cement bonded particle boards with coating, boards known under the trademark CETRIS Finish or CETRIS Lazur, are made on the coating line. At this department, the front side surface is checked first. Before painting, the visible particles of wooden chips and the bark are removed. The surface is leveled with 2-component polyester fillers, and the edges are provided with deep coating. When coating, the CETRIS board is at first provided with a primer and with a top coat at the second entry. After positioning in line, the surface of the CETRIS board is first cleansed in the brushing machine. The CETRIS board is then transferred on roller conveyors and rectangular crossings to the roll machine, Bürkle. The protective coating is applied by a roller on the backside. The backside of the CETRIS facade boards is provided with a protective primer coat that does not have a regular structure, appearance, or sufficient coverage. The paint does not have a specified color shade. Requests to perform in white or transparent shade must be pre-specified in the order. When the board passes through a preheating tunnel, the paint on the backside is dried, and simultaneously the temperature of the front side is raised. When entering into the automatic ECOS spraying machine, a photocell system at first differentiates the board sizes and defines the width of the spraying. There is a splashing air mix paint system in the pressurized cabin. On its two arms, there is an oscillating pair of high-pressure guns that spray the paint on the front side surface and the edges of the CETRIS boards. Drying of the coating follows after spraying. The 18-meter-long drying room is used for fast drying of water-based paints. The coating is dried out by flowing warm air, and the temperature of the dryer can be set differently in two parts. The surface coating is hardened by shortwave infrared radiation lamps placed in about 1/3 of the dryer room, and at the exit from the dryer room by mid-wave radiation heat lamps. The temperature of the panels with the surface treatment is decreased in the cooling zone. In a 12-meter-long tunnel, the boards are cooled down by flowing air so that the temperature of the boards at the input does not exceed 25 degrees Celsius. At the end of the line, the facade boards are stored on wooden transport pads, either using a manipulator or manually. Each facade panel is undelayed with a plasticized foil for protection of surface treatment against dirt and dust. The end of the boards are covered with a protective permeable foil and tied together.